Guys, we're rolling episode something.
Yeah, 120 something, right?
Cheers, brother. Cheers down the hatch.
220.
Something like that. So JFK files have been released. Have you read any of them? Can you get a hold of them? Is that possible? Do people get? How do we read them?
I've seen the headlines.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to get into it because I got a job and things to do.
Yeah. But you bet, like who's that guy? Alex Jones. He's gonna be diving into that.
Dude, that dude's probably speed reading it on the shitter as we speak.
Yeah,
I told you.
No,
You didn't fucking listen.
I mean, I bet it's gonna be. We're all gonna be completely off of what we really think it is.
From
how much you want to bet?
From the first thing that Trump said that I remember a little while ago is he was like, it's not good, it's
right.
It's not going to be something good for the people. And then just a little while ago, they were like, have you had a chance to take a look at him? He's like, no, I haven't had a chance to take a look at him yet.
But definitely was a CIA situation for sure.
And mafia, just like we knew.
Yeah, just mafias. Well, I mean, I guess what is the mafia? Government? What are we talking here?
Well, I mean, at least for back then, they're talking about there was more than one entity after him, which was well known, but it was the usual suspects is pretty much what it boils down to.
There's so much out there. I mean, you can get lost in these conspiracies because it's.
But the only thing I don't understand is hiding it for so long. Is that because there's people that should be held accountable for stuff and they haven't been? What is the reasoning behind that?
I guess hiding it is to keep the American people from panicking, maybe, or still trying to trust the government.
I would say that would be the best alleyway to go down, as they want to keep our trust. But they lost that shit a long time ago, and they're just barely.
They lost your trust.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They didn't. They lost my. I mean, I was born with no trust in the government. My parents didn't let me have trust in the government. But like, God damn.
There was a point
complaining about the government all the time.
There was a point in my life to where I really wanted to trust them. The war cracked off and shit, and all our friends are leaving and stuff. And I'm like, I don't normally trust these people, but I got to do this regardless.
What do you do? I mean, look, especially during 9/11. You want to let's go get those fuckers. And America was united.
Yes.
For the first time in a long time that way.
Yep.
But, I mean, we don't know. You have to retaliate.
But then you
if it wasn't an inside
fast
job.
Forward to now, and now we know it's definitely an inside
Really?
job.
We do?
Oh, yeah. 100%,
really?
Dude. Because, the one thing that I know, it's a fact, because you can go back to the original recordings.
Yeah.
And when they first announced the first fucking plane hitting the tower, guess what they happened to say right before that? $1.2 trillion just went missing. And
right.
We can't account for that.
Yep.
And then where the records are that would account for that, it's in the same spot.
And they're that brutal to kill that many people in order to do that and to
erase everything that they've done.
Why don't they just steal it? Instead of having to kill that many people, just be like, look, we're just going to lose this money, okay? But look, we're not killing anybody.
Because some people are, you got to tie up the loose ends, dude. That's mafioso stuff.
I feel you. Yeah. I feel you. Is there anybody in that group that's like, they're like, yeah, I would love to get a part of that trillion, but they're like, so we're doing what? We're killing people? Like, how does that not get out?
Right.
I don't understand how this, because people have loose lips. People just have loose lips. That's the world.
That is.
How are these things staying under wraps?
I think most of it's payouts, because
payola.
Yeah, payouts get silence.
Or people don't listen.
People don't listen. They don't believe it. They don't want to believe it.
Because it's true. You've said stuff, I'm sure, to just little minor things, and people don't listen to you.
Yeah.
Right. I've always said, rappers are gay.
Yeah.
Nobody listened.
And man, I knew there was a lot of truth to that, but I didn't know how big of a truth there was to that, dude. I'll be honest with you.
Alex Jones talked about Epstein Island for years.
Yeah.
And he's just a crazy lunatic.
And there's more than just his, dude. There's the Diddy Island. There's fucking
Diddy Island. What a name, too. Perfect name.
Well, no, it was Love Island, I think he called it.
Love Island.
Yeah.
Man, I I don't want to beat a dead horse with this Epstein. Now, there are underage girls, right, at Epstein Island? Forgive my ignorance. Yeah, it's underage girls for sure, right?
And trafficked. Regardless, it's still
really,
trafficked.
Trafficked. What is being trafficked means what?
That means brought from another country.
Forced?
Yeah.
Are you forced?
Yeah.
And them the girls saying no, and you go, come here.
Not like
that. In Pinocchio.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Basically, they'll take women that had nothing,
sure,
and say, "I'll give you the world."
Which is why there were always Russians back in the day. Yeah, they're like Russian women.
Yeah, the fucking mail order brides and shit. Yeah, but basically, I own you. If you want to achieve all these great things in life, I'll give them to you. But you got to do what I say at all times.
Right. Okay. Now, but can she say no?
She can if she wants to be stuck in a place to where she has nothing. Right.
Well, that kind of is almost the same thing as like I'm a poor actress from South Carolina, and I come to LA and like you're gonna be famous, but you gotta blow me.
But
right? She could say no.
She could, and I know where you're going with this. And it's a hell of a fucking Treasure Island temptation, Pinocchio.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, turning the donkeys over there,
right? You can do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm gonna take your soul.
Right, you're gonna take your soul. But you see where I always kind of push back a little bit on a lot of if you can say no. You know what I'm saying? So if
you can
now if you grab that, get her here, and you throw her in a cage and you're forcing her to do this, or were you were that you know?
But I mean, who knows when stuff like that's already going on? Who knows if they're being drugged? You know,
right?
Fucking half-ass making fucking decisions and don't even know what the
now
fuck's going on.
I watched the. I know people are yelling at me for this, but I watched the documentary, right? And the girls leave and then come back like on their own accord. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's mind control.
And they are getting paid.
It's mind
control. It's
control.
mind control. And I also wonder where's the parents? Like the parents are like, she just didn't come home some nights. And you're just like, you don't fucking... you know what I mean?
But like I said, if you're trafficked from another country, you don't have nothing here.
Right, but
you don't have
the documentary, it was all these American chicks that are just like, like in the 14th and 15th time I went back, and you're like, you know.
There is that, but the Epstein Island thing, the ones that I heard it was like kids from different countries where their families or their parents were fucking either killed or you know something. And
they sold them.
Yeah, the rest of the family members were like, well, you're not going to do any good here. You're going to get killed. So we'll set you up with these guys. They'll get you into America.
Right.
All they see is fucking stars and stripes in their eyes. They get over here and they're just fucking just hoard out.
Right. Now, would we say that's the same as like pornography?
I mean, no. Because porn is basically you're signing up for this kind of thing. That's exactly what you're going after.
Right, but aren't the girls on the island, weren't they signing up for it too?
No, not all of them.
No?
No. One of them that I seen was like, oh, well, you know...
they got kidnapped?
No, well, so...
Because
Epstein would...
I got to say mind control for me doesn't count.
Epstein would pay, say, just this one girl that I saw, and I've only seen this one interview where she's talking about it. And she said that... you know, I wanted to go to college, and he's like, oh, well, I'll go ahead and pay for that. You know, she's like, oh, well, what a nice guy. You know, he's got so much money, this doesn't mean anything to him. Slowly but surely.
Dumb chicks. Oh, he's just a nice guy. Yeah. He just, that's what he wants.
Slowly but surely, he would have another broad that was already brainwashed, like, okay, well, he's ready for his massage now. And she goes like, what? She goes, yeah, let me show you, because I'm going to show you the technique on how to loosen up the muscles. You know, there's certain fucking areas and this and that. And she's like, felt kind of weird, but she's like, okay, you know, whatever. You know, if I'm doing this, I'm getting a free ride to college. You know, why not?
Right.
And so I could see how it's starting to become a slippery slope when you hear some of their stories. Man, talk about a tongue twister with that one.
But can they just say no?
They definitely can. So you can't really feel sorry for some of them, but
I feel sorry for them, and no, it sucks. But what I'm saying is like,
no, but some of them do. You hear other stories, and you're like, you know, they definitely keep themselves in the situation.
Right.
Don't try to get away from it.
Yeah. Now, okay, let me move on from that, and then go to Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah, that was another smug bastard.
Yeah, definitely gross. Now, did he physically hold women down and rape them? That I don't know.
No, but with his power, he threatened to destroy everything that their hopes and dreams and everything they've done is after.
Can they just say no?
They can.
Okay.
But when you're having that threat to a girl, girls are the fairest sex for a reason. They're easily manipulated. They can't drive for shit. I mean,
right, but you see where I'm going here.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've all had to say no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No one's ever been like, Ian, you gotta suck my pussy, man, and you get this role. Although I'd be like, what's the role? Be like, I'm Batman? All right.
And does it?
Fuck it.
I mean, is it smelly down there? I mean,
how bad is it?
Is it going to be butterscotch?
It's Weinstein, female Weinstein, yeah.
Ooh. And they make it hard like that, dude?
But like I've always told this story too, is when I did a scene and they were going to dunk my head in the toilet, and for the scene, I go, I can't do it.
Got to pass.
And guess what? They go, okay, we'll do something else then. Now, of course, we had a discussion. But I could just be like, no.
Well, the Weinstein thing I find interesting, too. So replace Weinstein's face with, say, the likes of Brad Pitt.
Sure, it's different.
It's
only because Weinstein looks like he's supposed to look. That's why.
He looks like he has a van with no windows.
He's an ogre-looking movie mogul.
Yeah.
Right? He looks the part.
He's got a few vans.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, that boy's got all the money, but
free candy.
And apparently, like, he didn't have a dick that worked either or something. I don't know.
So you mean these broads had to blow a
apparently he had
ugly old man.
He has like a diseased penis or something like that. But my point is, guys, like, being creepy is not a crime. It sucks and you deserve to get your ass whooped. Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm just saying, let's take some accountability for yourself, right?
There is that.
Sure.
There is that.
Right, because that happens to dudes like you wouldn't believe, from gay movie producers. Nobody gives a fuck, and I don't give a fuck either. But but what I'm saying is,
of course, because you don't have to deal with that world.
Because it's funny. It's just gay dudes getting smashed, and they're getting turned out thinking they're going to get a movie.
And they just get fucked.
They just got fucked. And then they're like, I'm not even gay. They're like, well, you are now. You are now.
Welcome to the club there, bud.
Yeah. And by the way, in West Hollywood, dudes are getting drugged and done by other dudes like you wouldn't believe in those clubs.
You got to be shitting me. That's a real thing?
It's running rampant.
Really?
It does. Yeah. It's just.
I remember when the chicks used to have to worry about that for a little while.
No, that's been going on for a long time with the gay fellas.
Because
gay fellas are like, oh shit, it looks like I just got drugged and done up, whatever.
I saw this commercial for a pretty funny thing the other day. It was called a nightcap. Have you heard of that? The drink cover for chicks?
No, but I mean, I know what a nightcap is.
No. So
like
So you go to the bar, you get yourself a glass, and it has a little straw.
A cap.
Yeah, it caps over it, but leaves the straw out and
nice.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And it shows these hot chicks, I was like, what a great idea.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, what a great idea, Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dudes are sneaky.
But then again, if the bartender's on it, because on it, because I've seen that shit happen in plenty of fucking
You got to
stores.
be a shitbag, though, right?
You really do, dude.
Because that not only does it, like, knock them out for the day, but it fucks their head up for like months too. Like their brain's fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could never understand doing anything like that.
That's a weird move, man.
That's a pussy move.
I don't have that muscle. That's a weird thought. I think other weird shit, about like murdering motherfuckers. But
like I was telling my son the other day, I'm like, hey, you ever have like crazy thoughts that just roll through your head real quick?
And you're like, what was that?
And he goes like, what? And I go, just something that you normally think that you wouldn't think. And he goes, no, but give me a for instance.
You will.
Give me a for instance. And I'm like,
wait till you start paying bills.
I'm like, well, like I'm at the grocery store and this fat chick in front of me is fucking taking her sweet time putting one item at a time on the fucking conveyor belt. And in my mind, I take her fucking by the back of the head, hold her down to that conveyor belt, and fucking press the gas pedal on that son of a bitch. And he can't stop laughing. I was like, you never had nothing like that? And he goes, no. I was like, oh. Thank God.
He will, though. I mean, that's a normal thought, by the way. Everyone has those thoughts.
I think so, dude.
The difference between us and a psychopath or sociopath is we don't act on it. Yeah. But every time I walk, someone's near a ledge, I'm like, what if I just kick this motherfucker off the ledge?
If I just happen to...
I'm not going to do it.
No.
What if I do?
But...
Yeah, and then you picture kind of the whole scenario.
The whole scenario, and then how
it's crazy, though. Yeah.
How shitty you would feel, and you're like, well, why did I even do that?
Or have you ever, like... I guess I'll be honest because this makes me feel terrible, but I've even had like thoughts of like just doing crazy to like a loved one for some reason. You know what I mean? Or my dogs. And I'm like, what the fuck was that thought? Why did I have that thought?
Hey, when that happened to me, I really kind of like didn't like myself for a little bit.
We all have that thought, but I want to know what that's about.
I don't know.
Because I don't think that way. I don't ever want to do anything like that. I love them so much. Why the fuck would I think about doing that?
I think that's the devil's temptation. I think your soul's
very weird.
Your soul's actually hearing his temptations. You're like, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
It's very weird, man.
Yep.
Is that the same? Is that the same temptation as like major procrastination? You know, like where you're gonna have to do something and you just don't do it. You know, like
talking yourself out of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing that lately.
I've been catching myself.
Simple things like paying bills or whatever, and it's gonna be late. And I'm gonna have to pay more because it's gonna be late. But I go, you know, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want it
because you haven't really had a lot of things to rebel against right now.
So yeah, I'm just picking up a bill rebellion.
Yep, yeah, dude. I think so, man. I think that has something to do with it because I do find myself trying to fight up against shit sometimes that I'm like, oh.
Well, here's the problem.
I'm just hurting myself.
Here's the problem. What the rebellion is now is going to work, having a family, loving your family. That's a rebellion now. You know what I mean?
I have stepped foot back in the arena, dude. After they're like,
but it's not nature's rebellion. So you're like, fuck. We're supposed to do that. Those are things we're supposed to do.
Right.
It's not supposed to be a rebellion.
Well, yeah. Now it's taboo to be a straight and white.
Yeah. So you're a rebel. You're a rebel if you want to have straight sex.
Rebel without a cause.
Literally. yeah, literally. Man, Angel and I were talking about this the other day. It was like, if we had to get back, quote unquote, in the dating world, which I'll never do.
Oh, fuck no.
Nope. Which I'll never do. Not because I'm like guaranteeing, you know, I know how life works. Sometimes, you know, whatever you break up. But I'm never going to,
seek it out.
Go out on a date, you know, or I'm just going to buy ladies. You know, I'm just going to buy them. And I'm going to go, you know what? I feel like having a girlfriend today. I'm going to, hey, I'd like a girlfriend experience today. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then it'll be done, and I'll be free to play golf with my buddies the next day.
Yep, and never have to see her again.
I'll never have to see her again. Yeah. I won't have to pay her insurance bill. I won't have, you know what I mean? I won't have to fucking work extra hours for her, you know?
Her insurance bill, like you're gonna
I got specific.
Give her some shit to walk away with, bro. You're really gonna hate yourself for this one, girl.
But what I'm saying is, like, because of the quote unquote apps and all that, I don't really understand. It's a weird world because before you meet them, I imagine people look them up, do a Facebook look up on Instagram or whatever, and get false sense of who they are.
I'm sure that if I was to do that right now, they're like, you don't exist. You're not on Facebook. Like, I see a profile, but it hasn't been used in years. You're not on Instagram. I see a profile, but it hasn't been used in years.
Yeah, and in the pictures, you always put your best foot forward.
Well, I mean, the only thing that I have, like, on any kind of media thing is the YouTube shit. And other than that, you're really not going to find out too much about me.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you and your wife divorce, which you never will because you will go into bliss and the eternity together as one.
Yes, sir.
As one. But if you do, Like, do you start looking at the apps, or do you just try to do it naturally? Were you're at the bar?
She's hit me up about this. She's like, so say like I was to die tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, it'd be pretty tough, man, especially because I got the boy, you know, and I work far away and stuff. I mean, because she's really the glue that holds everything together. I'm like, yeah, it'd be hard as shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have to change a lot of things around. I'd probably have to move out there just so I could fucking be close to work and take my kid to like a Christian school that's on that same road just so I can have everything all in line and whatnot, you know, and fucking, and do everything.
Yeah, being a single father, it's another world.
It's a pain in the ass, dude.
But like I've said this many times, and Jenna is my last girl I'll ever be with. After that, I'm just buying ladies.
Well, my wife was like, "Would you date?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Come on."
I'll hang out with my friends and buy women.
She's like, "Come on," and I was like, "All right, well, maybe after some years, maybe I might start dating." She's like, "Would you get married?" I'm like, "Fuck no, that's off the table."
Yeah, that's done.
I'm done. She's like, "What if you meet the perfect one?" I'm like, "You keep coming up with all these what ifs, like you're planning on this shit happening. It's not gonna happen." I was like, "Trust me. After you, I'm done with chicks for a good fucking hot minute because I got my kid."
Right.
You know. So hey, guess what? My needs are put on hold for the next fucking.
Right. But the problem is, see, if women love the kid, okay, so that's gonna draw women to you.
That's a fact.
And you had a wife die.
Oh yeah, they all like that shit.
And then boom, now you're grieving.
You always see those fucking flicks, right?
And then you'll
not wearing the sweater though, I'm not wearing the fucking
what sweater?
The sweater with the guy that's always in the chick flicks that are like that. He's like, "Oh, I'm the wounded bird."
Wounded bird.
I was in love with this girl and she died and now I have this kid and this and that, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's such a great guy." Dude, my chick fucking most of the time I pass by the TV, she's watching some kind of filth like this. But they're
filth.
But the guy is always wearing this fucking sweater, dude. That always irritates me, dude. It looks like Mr.
I'm gonna have to look that. I've never really paid attention.
Oh, dude,
I'll check that out.
It's in every single one. Yeah. He's in the fucking kitchen doing the dishes and shit, and you're like, "Get the fuck you, dude. That's why you get dishwashers, motherfucker. What are you doing, dude?"
Oh God. like one of those Along Came Polly movies.
Yeah, you know what
where it's like, it's a wounded bird, but in real life though, you got the Along Came Polly, and where he's kind of a dork, but she likes him. That's never gonna work because he's a pussy.
Yep. And guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get mugged.
Jennifer Aniston's hot ass is not gonna be going for that sissy. It's not happening.
I don't think so, dude.
And if she does, she's doing it for money or something, and then she'll.
Yeah, well, she's definitely gonna have bodyguards.
Imagine having a man that can't protect you in any way. I'm not saying you got to have fucking Conor McGregor or anything. I'm just saying.
But I'm just
imagine having a guy that can't protect you. That's crazy.
Imagine that he gets a bodyguard that's completely weaker than him too.
Right.
Because he doesn't know how to hire a bodyguard or know anything about fighting. He watched one of those fake,
like your Bill Gates or something.
He watched one of those fake kung fu karate masters, you know, and then bought into the. Yeah, I watched his videos. This guy's great.
Yeah.
And he just gets mopped
That's got to be wild, because that's got to be a lady's number one, right? Ladies' number one, and this is nature, is security.
Right.
So
it has to be.
Yeah. So you got financial security, and then you got stability, and then you got physical security. Yep. You want to make sure that at least he can kind of at least put the arm out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got a Steven Seagal one-chop karate guys on the side of the neck, and for some reason they drop, fucking. I'm just thinking of a movie with Seagal. Just hits him one time, bam, done.
Yeah, it's in the total wrong spot. It's like
right here
in the back of your shoulder,
right on the trap. You're like, this is where I get a massage. What are you doing?
Actually, thanks, bro. That's right where the knot was.
Yeah, movies are very funny, dude. They are very funny in all those. But I would suggest go back and watch those 90s movies. They're fantastic. 80s and 90s.
Definitely. I don't care what genre, horror, fucking
doesn't
comedy.
Matter.
Yeah. It don't matter, dude. 80s and 90s.
I love the bad acting and the good acting.
I've been going through those with the boy, like I said.
Incredible.
We're watching Lost Boys.
Yeah, Lost Boys is great.
What's funny is then we got into the second one, and I was like,
oh,
let me.
It's rough.
I know, but I'm like, let me see what he says. And after, dude, fucking 20 minutes, he's like, can we watch something else, dude? And I was like, yeah, I know.
That's hard for a kid.
It is. But then I'll.
That's hard for a kid to understand.
I'll get back into like the good shit, like Police Academy and fucking
go.
Indiana Jones.
The comedies, man. Porky's.
Yeah, fucking. I haven't showed him that one yet.
No, Porky's. Yeah, you got Porky's. I thought of this, man. I wanted to make a movie that was half Porky's, half Friday the 13th. So you had Porky's, but as a horror movie. So you still had all the comedy.
I like it.
But you had the real slasher. Sex and violence. But you had real slasher type horror with Porky's like comedy. Imagine if a Porky's like comedy came out now.
And we had the exploited playing in the background when she's running through the forest fucking naked.
Yeah, or she trips on everything.
And trips on the biggest leaf
it's great.
that there is out there.
And you do it modern style, but old style still. Like it's gritty film, but it's still the ring, ring.
Yes.
And you show the thing, and you still do it old school. You still got the old school jokes, the old school Porky's jokes, and you go real with it. You don't try to do write it for now. You write it like they would talk.
Let's fucking make this happen.
Yeah,
dude.
wouldn't that be fun?
That shit does sound.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I've been really thinking about it. It's like, dude, that would be awesome.
Well, check it out, dude.
You got comedy and slasher. That's the funnest film to make ever.
Well, it's funny because I was talking about serial killers earlier with one of my fucking coworkers and shit. And my buddy Paul, Korean dude, fucking great sense of humor and shit. Same line as us, dude, and whatnot. Yep. And somehow, I think I brought it up. Maybe I said something like Dahmer or whatnot. And I was like, oh, Dahmer. Have you heard any of my Dahmer jokes? And he's like, fuck. He's like, I don't know, man. Have I? And I was like, I don't know. I tell him all the time, dude. So
let's hear it.
All right. So one was Jeffrey's having, his mom over for dinner and shit. And, they're sitting at the table eating and stuff. And his mom goes, hey, Jeff, I really don't like your friends. And he goes, well, try some of the vegetables.
Okay. That's good.
All right. But you know what they found in his bathroom?
Head and Shoulders.
Yeah, the Head and Shoulders.
That's the one I know. I think there's one like head of lettuce or something. Yeah, there's Dahmer jokes. That's crazy.
Well, my buddy Paul couldn't stop laughing, dude, because apparently I've never said them to him before. But I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Because that is great, dude.
I love dumb jokes like that.
I do.
They're the best.
They are.
Dad jokes, those sort of things,
Mm-hmm.
This guy walked into the bar. Bartender said, "So what'd it be, jackass?" The guy sitting next to him says, "Why does he call you jackass?" "Oh, he always call me that." Come on, dude. That's so stupid. But I love those. Those are the best.
Sometimes it's the right mood because, dude, it was, I don't know, in my business lately, it's hurry up and wait kind of thing. It's
yes,
like there's imaginary fires everywhere, and you're already smart enough to know that there's not real fires. So you just kind of carry on, and then so your buddy's kind of worn out from the bullshit too, and you're like, hey, let me tell you a fucking stupid joke that I just happen to remember right now.
Yeah.
You mentioned Dahmer, or somebody mentioned a serial killer, and I fucking threw in Dahmer, and I was like, let's make fun of him. Fuck it.
The serial killer thing is crazy, man, because it's like how many do you have to kill to be a serial killer?
I think it's over 2.
Over 2, and you're already a serial killer, or does it have to be a pattern? Because I think there are guys that they want to have like the title. They want to be called like the BTK killer or the...
Well, this is where media fucks it, because what they should call him is like dopey face fuckhead stick.
Right, right, but they want to sell
like
headlines.
The Night Stalker, they want the Green River Killer. Fucking all these names that, now you've put this whole fucking, persona on this person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. But it's weird that, because they said something like in every neighborhood there's a serial killer there or something. They just don't act on it. Like they're fighting the urge.
Well, with all the drugs that was done in the 60s, that's probably in the genome of these kids that have grown up. And then you smack that in with all this weird woke culture shit and make yourself a shit sandwich. When people take a bite, I can see that happening.
Yeah, like school shootings. Why are they're all of a sudden they become popular, then they're not popular anymore? Did they stop happening, or are we just not covering it, or
and why, as much as any of us fucking hate the kids at school because that's most of us growing up.
Sure.
You know, especially when you get in your later years, your teen years, where you're still trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
And people want to hate you for a different reason you don't understand. But I've not once thought that I wanted to just go and just destroy everybody at that school, even the ones that didn't do shit wrong to me.
Yeah, and then if I did have that thought, I'd be like, or the kid's picking on me. I'd be like, well, I'm going to get that motherfucker when he walks out of school.
Yeah, I'm just going to sock him in his noodle, dude.
Well, let's say if I did want to shoot him, it wouldn't be like, in the school, and then I'm going to be wearing some weird fucking, outfit. Some costume. No, I was like, I got to get this dude.
Just fuck him up, right?
Yeah, just fuck him up.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that they make it very headline-esque,
But I do remember I was getting blamed for this shooting this time. Do you remember the kid Nick Leal that lived up the street from me, drove a Volkswagen like I did at that time?
Yes, I remember the name. I can't put the face to it.
He's the one that died right out in front of the Lakewood Sheriff's Department because he's hanging outside the window doing nitrous.
Really?
Yeah, and hit that fucking pole and it ripped off the top half of his torso like that.
I never heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
When did that happen?
It was late 90s, early 2000s.
Really?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s. So it was after high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like 21 or something, 22.
Yeah, but this kid was fucking with me for a little while, And,
Nick Leal.
Yeah, and I would race him and shit, and I'd beat him with my piece of shit bug, but then I'd dip out because after I'd hit third gear, dude, my shit was a dog, dude. So I'm like, I'm gonna beat your ass through the light and then just cut off to the right and shit. Well, apparently he wanted to shoot me over this.
Really?
And I was like, well, I've never seen him or heard this, but this is the word on the street kind of shit. So when it got back to me, I was like, hey, tell him I just want to fight with mitts.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to gunfight nobody for fucking racing and whatnot and shit. But, less than a week later, his house got shot up. His fucking garage and shit. There's still the bullet holes for up until like 2-3 years
So he had
ago.
So he was making enemies, I guess, huh?
Oh, with a lot of our friends that were in low places, too.
Huh.
Yeah, so that ended up coming back.
I wish I could put the face to the name, though.
He's a Mexican kid with the bald head.
Mexican named Nick Leal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
He was one of them really privileged, grew up rich his whole life, fucking.
Yeah.
Those kind of
wanting to be a gangster or something.
Oh, dude, he thought he was. He probably grabbed a BB gun and was like, "Oh, I'll shoot this motherfucker. I'll shoot this motherfucker."
Heard a fucking Eazy-E song. He's like, "That's me now."
Yeah. So when his house got shot up, and I remember all eyes were on me for that. And they're like, "Was it you, dude?" I'm like, seriously, I don't even fucking have access to a gun at that time. I was, fucking in my 20s, right?
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah. I didn't even have a gun at that time, dude. I didn't have a gun until I was in the Navy.
Damn, crazy, dude. That's wild. Yeah. I don't remember. A lot of that time, something happened in a lot of my memory, dude. Around that time. You know what I mean? I'm having a hard time putting faces to names and everybody around there.
Well, there's a lot of people that just was like a blip in our life that it didn't really matter at that time.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then you hear the backstory and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's wild.
Who was this asshole? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's wild. It sucks when you hear some of the good guys too. They off themselves and you're just like, God damn, dude. Like, I'd love to know. It's very interesting to me when people in your area off yourself because you're like, what changed? From your life. I know everyone's got different families, different work schedules, whatever. But what changed to where you wanted to do that?
That was your way out.
Yeah,
really,
and especially if you're like a nice guy, you're like, damn, how did that happen?
Well, I always think, like, you don't know anything about death because you haven't done that yet.
Right.
So what makes you think that killing yourself is going to be better on the other side? Now now all your decisions have already been made.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to end up well for you.
What if it is great on the other side? You're just like, oh, man, that was the greatest decision ever.
To throw your life away? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not great. I'm sure that's not great. But... And for the people around you, too. That fucks the people up.
I'm pretty sure.
They never get over that.
I'm pretty sure you're going to feel that pain yourself, too.
Yeah, but it's probably a lot of drugs, a lot of come down from drugs, and whatever that crazy depression is.
Well, that's a fact, like Moorhead.
Yeah?
Yeah, that one was a...
That's a wild one, man.
That one took me by surprise. There was a dude that used to go to fucking Lakewood with us, too, Kevin Kernahan.
I don't know if I know that one.
He was another one that died by the rope for some reason.
The hanging. See, that's a message. You're sending a message.
The rope thing was a big one, dude, for a lot of dudes that were around here, and I could never understand that. I'm like, really, dude? Like, I mean, you can just go and have some beers with the guys and go fucking have a guys' night out and, forget about whatever you thought was so bad, because sometimes, we get in our own heads and you're like, oh, this is terrible. This is the worst thing
I think a lot of it has to do with the come down from drugs. And I bet a lot, and a lot of people are secretly doing drugs. You don't know it. You don't know what they're doing because they're not out in the open doing lines with everybody. But and then the come down is so bad, but also life kind of sucks. Sure. The come down is bad and they want to quit and they can't quit. And my advice is, because they've been taking these steps, like a lot of these, I'm against a lot of these steps, and here's why. Because a lot of the steps, they really make you feel bad if you need to take that drug, right? So you're fighting taking that drug. You'd rather kill yourself now than take that drug.
Yeah, that's the wrong way to
or take the alcohol.
That's the wrong way.
Like there's people that So I blame a lot of that on the come down and themselves, but the come downs are bad. When you can't get that heroin fix, if you're on heroin, that's a bad one.
That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because apparently,
but I do think a lot of these people, for some reason, they just gave up on themselves. Like, I'm nothing without this. I can't do anything without this, and they put their faith in the wrong thing.
Yeah,
put it in this drug that's always going to let you down.
Right. You
know it's going to happen. It's.
But if you've ever felt a withdrawal, those are brutal.
They are.
Those are brutal, man.
Yeah. I have.
And they're physically brutal. Mentally and physically brutal.
And dude, you feel
back hurts.
You feel awkward in your own body.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, it's wild.
But then I got older, and then I was like, wow.
Then you got to be like, stop being a bitch.
I really just gave into this shit.
Yeah.
Because I was being a bitch.
Right. Yeah, you're still being a bitch. Fucking suffer a little bit.
We all suffer.
You're not in World War II, bitch. Right. You're not in the trenches.
Yeah, imagine that, dude.
Yeah, you're not in the trenches. You're in your room with foil on the fucking windows. You know what I mean?
You got a refrigerator full of food.
Scrolling through your phone. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, that's why your brain's so fucking warped, is because you can't get off that stupid fucking device that just tells you that
the device is bad, man.
And it dictates,
is bad, dude.
It dictates to you what you believe in, because you see these other like-minded people like you, and then sometimes it's not even an ideology that you have, but you adopt it for some reason because you like their face and you normally like what they have to say.
Right. Absolutely.
But then they say something completely off the wall, and a lot of people nowadays question it, but they roll with it. They're like, fuck yeah.
They roll with the team.
They're like, fuck yeah, Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Bill Burr.
Yeah, we love Robert De Niro. Everyone loves Robert De Niro. Then you're just like, man, god damn. So, but you're like, you're able to separate it though. Where I go, well, you're a bitch ass actor. I mean, you're supposed to be lame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because when he was like, I'll punch Trump right in his face, and I was like, with those flabby ass old man arms, dude, you're probably not going to get the punch anywhere close to him.
Just be an actor. Just be an actor. Right? Shut your mouth.
I know.
Put it in your art.
Are you going to run as president? If not, shut the fuck up.
I want musicians put it in your art. Shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Can we stop being reminded every 12 seconds that somebody's happy or somebody's sad?
Right.
About
every
politics,
second about some politician. About a politician doesn't even know you exist.
Don't give a shit about you.
Don't care about your family.
Fart in your fucking oatmeal.
Doesn't even care. You and your whole family could die. That politician wouldn't even
never know.
No.
And
you
know.
spent your whole life fighting that dude,
thinking that
or following that girl or whatever,
thinking that what I'm doing is right. He's a jerk.
I'm going to take my shirt off and put a swastika on my tits.
I'm going to hate my family, but while I put the swastika on, I'm going to call you a Nazi.
Yeah. Have you seen that one where all the chicks, they got swastikas on their tits? You're just like, you bitches are so stupid
as shit,
in so many different levels. You're so ignorant.
Well, remember they were shaving their heads because they're like, oh, we're protesting something in Korea.
Yeah.
That had something to do with like birthrights or something. They're like, You're fucking dumb. You bitches literally have nothing to do with your lives except adopt somebody else's complaint.
If I saw any of my family member out there, I'd have to disown them. I'd be like, oh my God, are you stupid? Or I'd have to be like, have you been brainwashed? You okay? Because even if I agree with what you're doing, the tits and the swastika, that's insane.
You need some help.
You need help.
At that point.
Mental illness. And your tits are gross.
Unless those swastikas spin and have like little sparklers on the ends of them, dude.
And you're on a pole, then we're good. Yeah. All right, bro, let's get out of here and jam.
Cheers.
Oi, Denhead.